Fatman Scoop. So Fatman Scoop passed away over the weekend. I was aware of it, and people was hitting me up, and some people were surprised that he even followed me on Instagram. But we'll talk about that in a second.
He had a voice known for getting the party started. Fatman Scoop, whose real name is Isaac Freeman III, died last night after he collapsed during a performance at a concert in Hamden, Connecticut. The Harlem native scored a breakout hit in 1999 with the song Be Faithful. And a few years later, that same song shot to #1 on the chart in the UK. He was perhaps best known for his collaboration with Missy Elliott on a 2006 hit, Lose Control. That feature would earn him a Grammy. Missy Elliott posted a tribute on X today that read in part, "Your impact is huge and will never be forgotten." Fatman Scoop was also a DJ for New York's hip-hop throwback station 94.7 The Block. The radio station posted a tribute earlier today with the message, "Tomorrow is never promised, so we have to appreciate the moments we have today." Fatman Scoop was just 53 years old.
In my opinion, that's too young to be passing away. 53 is too young to be passing away. We often talked on the phone recently, actually, before his passing. We talked on the phone. We would message each other back and forth. It started off, he actually had DM'd me because he had liked my content and he asked me to jump on a live stream with him. So I was like, all right, cool. So we cooked up on a live stream together, and a lot of y'all can actually find that live stream on the Anton Daniels channel. And so we have been talking about doing some more content because he wanted to start getting into more content creation. And he didn't just want to, do what he was doing on stage. I mean, he loved what he did on stage and he didn't want to stop that, but he didn't want that to only be the last thing that he did in his legacy. And so we talked a little bit about working on content and stuff together. And so it just never really materialized because I got so busy. He went back on the road and he stayed on the road, and we would often talk about his perspective on child support and in relationships and all of that stuff. So we have been working on some things, but rest in peace to him, and condolences out to his family. Again, I wanted to make sure and confirm that it was actually true before I went out here and started talking about it. But rest in peace to his family. I did see the video where he collapsed on stage. And a lot of people in the comments were saying, well, he died doing what he loved. But 53 years old is just too early for me. I want to live till I'm 90 personally. So I need another 50 years on this earth. And that's why I'm just changing everything, because I just don't want to die from complications and health problems. And leave a lot on the table that I could have accomplished, because I want to drive all of the cars. I want to fly to all of the places. And I don't want to live to 52, 53 years old. I mean, that's the same age that Kevin Samuels died. Kevin Samuels died at 53. Fatman Scoop died at 53. That's too early, in my opinion. So I'm not looking forward to only another 11 years. I'm looking forward to another 50 years on this earth. But rest in peace to Fatman Scoop, and I hope his family is doing well. In addition to that, Tim Walz, Motorcade, got into an accident. Check it out.
A few cars in the campaign motorcade for Governor Tim Walz crashed in Milwaukee today. They were on the way to a speaking engagement for the Democratic vice presidential nominee. The governor and his wife were not hurt, but one pool reporter suffered a broken arm. Reporters say that they don't know how it all started, but one of the motorcade vans slammed into another and then got hit from behind as well. Well, the governor's Labor Day started with a brief meeting with Minnesota labor leaders on the tarmac at MSP Airport. Former President Trump gained ground with union members in 2016. So the question is, what may be changing in 2024?
They traversed Milwaukee, and then yesterday there was over in Detroit. Kamala Harris is catching us a lot of slack because she changed her accent in order to try to appeal to Detroiters over here. And you better thank those union members and all of that. And so she was trying to sound like a Detroiter. Um, I heard that they wasn't even really in Detroit. They was in a suburb of Detroit, but who knows? But they're traversing the Midwest, Milwaukee, Pennsylvania, um, Minnesota, obviously, Michigan, Ohio, all of these different places in the Midwest outside of Illinois, because Illinois is automatically blue. It's not a swing state. And they've already given their vote and their masculinity over to the Democratic Party, but they're transversing the entire Midwest. So that's what's going on that front. And then last but not least, Chicago. prison Department of Corrections workers are protesting a prison closure. Let me check you out.
The state has started moving inmates out of Stateville Prison. It's set to close over concerns about poor living conditions there.
New at
Shout out
10,
to
our
Amy.
Charlie
I'm gonna read
DeMar
that
found
shortly.
out plans to demolish the prison and build a new one at the Crest Hill site has some workers worried about their future.
The union representing most of the employees here at Stateville say they want answers as to whether or not they'll have jobs once the new facility is built and what happens when all of the inmates are gone at the end of the next month. No chaos, no layoffs. That's the battle cry from the picket line outside Stateville Correctional Center in Crest Hill.
We don't want any layoffs. This is going to impact people's future.
So wait. I just want to get this straight because I understand when people protest for certain industries. Let's say, for example, the UAW and the auto workers, right? And they say, we don't want no layoffs because we don't want work going over to Mexico. Okay, that's a better conversation, right? That's a better conversation. And the reason that that's a better conversation is because that's a private industry that's based off of competition, and you can also depend on legislators to work in Americans' favor so that you don't have foreign products coming over here and you're not having money going out overseas, right? And then you can start organizing a little bit differently. Even though I don't agree with a lot of what the UAW does today versus what they did in yesteryear, you can organize a little bit differently and represent all of the workers and say, hey, listen, we don't want no layoffs and we want more work to come to this plant or whatever. But this is different because you got to understand that although I think that they should keep prisons open, um, because we got so much crime, and one of the incentives for them to close this is for budgetary restrictions, and that's why they keep letting everybody out. But you, as a worker, can't advocate for no layoffs because you're being paid by the taxpayers. This Illinois in general and Chicago and all of its surrounding cities are all facing a crisis when it comes to their budgets. One of the reasons why they're letting all of these prisoners out is because they can't afford to house them, keep them, feed them, and all of this stuff, right? And so we have less money going over to prisoners. We got more money going over to immigrants, more money going over to social services, more money going over to a bunch of stuff that we don't even know where the money is going, right? And so this is a completely different industry. You know what I'm saying? This is a whole nother wave. And you can't protest the state and the city and the county to keep your job open based off of the fact that you just want your job, but they're actually closing that particular prison and they're building another one or they're building a more efficient one or they'd already moved all of the prisoners out. What do you want them to do? You know what I'm saying? So, although I do think that we need to be tougher on crime, I'm not really sure that you can organize against layoffs. You know, if you're going to unionize as far as the corrections department or prisoners and stuff like that, or you work at a prison, it has to be for prison conditions, it has to be for more protection. You can even advocate for more pay if you want to. But I'm not really sure how you can advocate against layoffs when you're using taxpayer money in order to support your job. That's crazy to me.
People's employment.
The union representing about 900 Stateville workers say they're worried about their jobs.
It's pretty frustrating. Right now, they just want to get rid of the inmates, the individuals in custody, and we're left hanging with they're going to do with us.
So far, about 100 prisoners have been transferred from Stateville to other facilities around the state. It comes as a judge ordered the roughly 420 inmates be moved out by the end of next month due to so-called hazardous conditions.
Is it old? Does it need repairs? Yes, but it's not decrepit.
But former inmates see the prison's upkeep differently.
These conditions is pure torture. There's no other way to say it about it.
The Illinois Department of Corrections says no one will lose state employment during the rebuild of a new prison, and there will be opportunities available within the department.
I don't know why we give such grace to prisoners. If you committed a crime, I didn't know that you could actually fight for more rights or stuff inside a prison I thought that it was supposed to be painful. One of the reasons why people feel so comfortable committing crimes is because y'all got cell phones, y'all got iPads, y'all be doing competitions. I know it's whole TikTok channels that's dedicated to having fun in prison and they be cooking and stuff like that. And so I don't know, man. This whole situation is just bad all across the board. I'm confused. I don't know why this culture is so messed up. I don't know what's happening in America. I just think that everything is messed up. But ladies and gentlemen, that's your quick hits.